All right, so it's good to see exactly what has Amber decided to do as far as the podcast is concerned. Getting some information about podcasts. That's pretty much good to see. So let's jump into it.
Wait, I get this on the couch?
Absolutely.
Okay, I know that segment on your show, the hot seat.
Oh, the hot seat.
I don't know if I
I
want to
would
sit.
not put you in the hot. Well, maybe.
No, you gotta put it in the hot seat. You gotta put it in the hot seat.
I guess my first question is 5 people that it seems like you're starting a pod with someone who had a baby. First off, why isn't Ernestine on your podcast? She's your bestie, right?
Yeah, what, Amber, why didn't you ask me to be on the podcast?
Well, she is the mouth of the South, so.
Show the mouth and south. Like, I always got something to say.
But I'm not technically in charge, so I was invited to be on the podcast. Had we started our own, it definitely would have been me and her. But yeah, I just.
Makes sense. So in other words, at the end of the day, yes, to just put Ernestine on the podcast would be a little bit presumptuous. Ernestine on the podcast. I don't know how I feel about Ernestine being on the podcast. Ernestine definitely is a talker, and she definitely will keep it as spicy as possible. So, all right, okay.
Have any control over that? I mean,
You know I'm gonna say something crazy. I'm gonna say something that's gonna ruffle some feathers every time.
I can run it by Wayne if you want and see what he
Tell
says.
Wayne I need to be on the podcast with make me the 6th girl because I'm calling Shayla out. I'm coming for Shayla on the mic. I'm gonna be like, is this thing on? Excuse me.
Oh my God.
Here's where I'm still a little confused. You don't know why you're on the podcast with people that you don't like. That's what I'm confused about.
Well, I didn't say I didn't like them. I just said there's a lot of drama with
Even the woman that had a baby with your husband? No.
yeah. So she used to be my best friend, and we are just turning a new leaf and just trying to leave the past in the past. And honestly, Dave, I'm just about my money. So if the podcast is going to make me a bag, I'm here to make a bag.
And Amber is the most graceful person that I know. She's operating from grace and being Christ-like.
think you're funny.
I'm just saying it.
I'm not quite certain if Amber basically likes the subject of Shayla. And so I'm wondering about that as far as Amber is concerned with the podcast. Because if you're not able to handle the subject of Shayla, which is going to come up multiple times, then that's kind of concerning. However, maybe this is why Miss Grant says that Delicia may be the better person to lead the podcast because she has less cares as to what's going on, and she seemed to be able to think more level-headed than Amber at this point in time. So it makes sense. Miss Grant, hats off to you.
Yeah.
Do you think that may affect your brand by being in the mix all that time?
I mean, hopefully it won't get
It seems like you don't even know why you're doing it.
So she hasn't thought of it. No. Very interesting. But Amber has not thought about the implications of it. This is kind of what I was saying to people. If Amber drops dirt, that's one thing. But it's when people start dropping dirt on you, are you able to take the dirt they're dropping on you? That's the question. But nonetheless, a good question the guy's asking.
That's my problem.
No, I think she's look, it's a new opportunity. Wayne put it together for her and these women, and it's gonna be great. She's doing a podcast. Look at us up there. Look.
She doesn't know. Looking on her face, she doesn't know. What they're playing right now is that the Amber character is worried because she doesn't know why she's doing this podcast either. Which probably goes back to my first point as to why we did a podcast with, the Shayla thing. Like why we did the Shayla thing in the first place. But we're here and I've, kind of kept it quiet and cool. I haven't bothered anybody at all. Amber fans, have not heard too much out of me when it comes to Amber. The most I might do is I might talk on the Shayla character, but that's about it. I haven't said anything. Amber fans, I've been very, very nice to you. I have not done anything to you. Just so you know.
Look, see if I was on the podcast, we could look just like that.
We look good.
Look good on the screen. Look at the camera. What's the camera? Hey!
I love it. Here would be my advice if you want to get into the podcasting space. 1, do the podcast where you're going to get the exposure with these other women. But I'd say start your own at the same time.
That's a good advice, actually. That's a good advice for her to start her podcast on her own at the same time. That's a very, very good advice. It's good advice. It's good advice. No, it can work 2 ways. What does that mean? And it's good advice. It doesn't take away from the advice, but it can go 2 ways. Either they can like you as the 5 girls because of the dynamics that the girls bring, or people can like you by yourself and so you're able to do your thing by yourself. But either way, it's very good advice to start the podcast on your own while doing Wayne's podcast, because then you'd kind of see that, to see how people are taking you. Are they more wanting to see more of you, or they want to see you with the other four girls? That's just a question.
I don't know. The Amber Dalton? Well, soon to be. You gonna keep the last name? That's neither here nor there. David, I just thank you for the time. I just want her to see the space. I want her to see what type of equipment they should be having and lighting. And, a good friend of mine, Candace, is helping them. So I'm sure Candace is just, working in her own flow and process. But I want her to see a real famous podcast studio. So thank you for letting us.
I like it. So in other words, this is what I felt like the girls should have done from before. They should have done a podcast tour where they toured other podcasts to kind of get a feel as to what the podcasts had. A lot of their meetings should be about watching podcasts, you know what I mean, and looking at other podcasts. Do I want that in my podcast? Do I need this? Do I need that? So, so that's it is what it is, you know what I mean? I feel like that's exactly what she should have been doing from before. All of them should have been doing, rather than arguing as much as they can. But it's a very good question the guy is asking her. Why are you on the podcast? Because right now Amber doesn't know. She doesn't know why she's there. She doesn't know if she should be there at all. All she's doing is chasing basically the money of it, instead of understanding what's her purpose on the podcast. And so I feel like she's gonna have to find that out. But the guy's also not incorrect in saying, yeah, why not start a podcast for yourself? Maybe you and Ernestine can do a podcast. And I know Amber and Ernestine had a podcast before. Don't know how spicy it was though, and don't know how juicy it was, because you're going to need stories and juiciness and spiciness and, what is it now? You're just gonna have to be very candid, you know what I mean, or you're gonna have to have very wild guests, if that makes sense, because of the character that Amber plays inside the skit. She plays the goody two shoe character, whether you like it or not, friends. That's what she plays. She plays a goody two shoes. Goody two shoes. And it's fine being a goody two shoes, only that people get annoyed at seeing a goody two shoes for too long, just as though they get annoyed at seeing the bad girl for too long. Right? There is like people like the constant flux from goody two shoes to rough girl, goody two shoes to rough girl. They want to see the different sides of you. People don't believe that all you are is just a goody two shoes and you can't do anything else at all, even when someone comes on and challenges you. So I feel like that's what it is. But give me a take. Should Amber start her own podcast while doing Kountry Wayne's podcast? Give me a take. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm gonna talk to y'all soon.